Here we have a Master Band 5000 exhaust pipe bender. What is that? Exhaust pipe bender. I have not worked on this device or this machine before, but the customer mailed over the motherboard. He said no power. The motherboard looks something like this, and I can already tell what the problem is. Look at the pins on the bottom. They are broken off, and that is the reason why the board is not powering on. Let's take a quick look at the motherboard. We want to inspect the board to make sure we do not have anything else that is damaged on that board. But just based on initial visual inspection, I can see a problem right here. We have 1, 2, 3 broken lines. Now this guy here looks like possibly ground. We're going to have to restore this pad right here. We do not have the same pads to restore with, so we're going to have to use something else. Same here, we're going to have to restore. 1 is enough, but we're going to put 2 because they have 2 on the board. We're going to put 1 here. This is an industrial commercial machine, so we cannot just use a 0.1 millimeter wire. We have to use a very thick and dense copper, and we should be good. Now I do not see any burn marks anywhere on the board. The green lines, they look good, fresh. So we know that the board did not suffer any explosion or anything that burned the board. This is only physical damage. It looks to me like physical damage, or maybe something happened right here. This looks like physical damage to me, or maybe something else is going on. I don't know. If we look at the front side of the board, the connections look good, no problem. I do not see anything wrong with the board. The board looks perfect. The only thing I see wrong is the back, right here. That's the only thing I see wrong. So let's go ahead and restore those traces, and we can invoice and mail this back to the customer. Nothing else we can do other than restore those traces, and hopefully that will work for the customer. So how are we going to restore those traces? It's easier said than done. What can we possibly use to restore those thick traces? One thing that came to mind is we can use a braid wick. We have a very solid braid wick, a very dense and solid braid wick that we use in our shop, and we also sell on our site. If you have bought one from us before, you know that our braid wick is one of the best in the market. It's not like one of those flimsy braid wicks that you buy off eBay or Amazon or AliExpress. It's different. What we can do is use a hammer to maybe flatten it some more and make it as thin as possible. I do not know if you can hear me while I'm hammering the braid wick, but I'm trying to make it as thin as possible. And that's why you need a hammer in a repair shop. That's one of the reasons why you need a hammer in the repair shop, so you can hammer a braid wick. And some of the other reasons, maybe if you were not able to fix a device or you got angry, you always have a hammer next to you, right? Let's take a look at that braid wick and see what's going on. Look at this. Look at that braid wick. It does not come apart. Solid and dense. You can buy one off our site along with all the tools that we use on our bench here. Just log into NorthridgeFix.com, click on shop. You can purchase this amazing, one of the best microscopes in the market. Hot air stations, soldering stations, the braid wick, original Amtech Flux, tweezers, power supplies, voltage injection tools, thermal cameras. Some of the items are currently out of stock, but we have a shipment coming very soon. That braid wick, look at the size of the braid wick. Amazing. It's like that braid wick was made for this cart. Look at the size. That's amazing. Just what we needed. What we can do is we can solder that braid wick from the top all the way down to the bottom, and we can glue under that wick. We can do the same here. We'll do the same here, even though those two are the same line, but we're gonna have to put two of them. And we can do one right over here. We can start by soldering the wick, and then we can apply glue on the bottom, and the customer will have a better than factory exhaust bender. It has to be. All right, so we did an awesome job. We're gonna cut that braid wick right at the bottom, right here. And jump over pad 2, 3, and 4. And we're gonna do one more right here. And we have one more. Then we can clean up, add glue. And we should be good. And now we're going to use glue. The way I like to do it is I can cut the swab at an angle. Cut it at an angle like this, so we can create a sharp edge. You have to be creative. You have to use your brains. The brain is a nice tool to have if you know how to use it. Otherwise, it's just a piece of meat. It doesn't do anything. I want to drop just a tiny bit on that swab, on that edge. I got it. Just a tiny bit. Let's go under the microscope. You see, I cut that tip at an angle so I can go under. Let me add more glue. I think we have enough, but just a tiny bit. The microscope is going out of focus because that board is wobbling up and down. So maybe what we can do is we can put a piece of cardboard right here and we can clamp the bottom. After I'm done, I'll grind off any leftovers on the bottom and we should be all good. Let me show you what I did. I had that piece of that charging Flux cable from an iPad. I put it over the braid wick, the lines, and I clamped them. Few hours, we're gonna have a better than factory connection. So we're done. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Let me know how you would have handled that repair. There are always 101 ways to skin a cat. Not that we're going to skin any cats, but 101 ways to do a job. We had the braid wick readily available on our bench, thick, dense, and solid. We used it to restore the traces, and we got the job done. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video.